Insert lolly joke here, insert bad touch here, ha 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 ha. Now then, on to the review. A simple moment can be defined significantly to a helpless child, one in which in need of hope, a shining light, and happiness. Deku may not have saved that child before, but it brought her a ray of light. As the mission to rescue Eri is underway, there's more build up to the arc that serves more depth of characters and elevate the hype meter to shed some hope for Deku to not only to redeem his mistake, but to show her a brighter future. When it comes to this series, it likes to elaborate on every single details in case of anyone would question about it, including us the audience. It makes sure that there's little to no room for interpretation. That also applies to the character as well, many of which could have left as a single-dimensional characters, yet the series insists to display that they're more than superheroes. Sometimes, great power doesn't always mean a good outcome. The discussion for the next objective is pretty much done, so it left open to dive in the explanation behind Night Eye's quirk, which is good segue. They had to split up and find the whereabouts of Eri, since she could be anywhere from their pinpoint target area. Because it makes things difficult, the hero starts to feel distrusted with the plan, including Fat Gum. Gran Torino is the wise one to inform them to remain calm and have to do it carefully. Aizawa asks Night Eye the question that every one of us is probably thinking: why not use his quirk to see the future? One of the main highlights of the chapter is Night Eye and his struggle to keep in order in the conference. It's not because of how he presented the plan, but rather shown his vulnerable state or human side. It was notable that he was having a hard time with everyone, only to be asked about his quirk. Rather than him explaining out of nowhere or use an exposition during a combat, it is time well to explain every bit of detail to his quirk. He can only do it once per day, or 24 hours to be exact, to one person. The other part is that he can only see the vision, such as actions and surroundings, but can't see a clear visual of their reactions or reasons. When they begin to pressure him, I was legit growing frustrated, because it was at the time he noted that he can see a vision of death, which is a clear reference to All Might, and he looked in pain when saying so. Even when they all insist to be looking to the future and they can work around it if it is death, Night Eye makes a posture that signifies pain and suffering. The reaction from others get the idea more or less. Night Eye may be a former sidekick to the great All Might, but he's still human. Could you imagine watching everyone's future and it all leads to their death, let alone at a young age? It's a cruel irony that he's all about laughing in style or being charismatic, yet he has to suffer the vision of death scenes. It doesn't help that his idol's death is now in his mind, which that alone stings a lot. He thanks everyone for their cooperation. Even after all that, I admire his bravery. Another highlight is with Aizawa. It's not like he was wrong to ask the question, because he was looking at all the possibilities as well as understanding Night Eye's quirk, so he didn't make me upset. Instead, he actually makes me like him even more. It's no secret that he has been developing a lot as a teacher. I remember the way he started off as a very strict guy. He does maintain to be strict, but for all the right reasons, and develop a strong sense of care to his students. He even considered putting them away from internship. He is well aware of Deku's behavior that wouldn't be stopped by anyone, so he will keep his eyes on him. The panel holds a lot of weight to show how much he truly cares for them, even if they are troublemakers. He won't afford to lose anyone for their foolish act. I'm used to the teacher to give an easy time to the protagonist for the wrongful act, but this series provided a reasonable moment for Aizawa to react towards the mission. He even manages to share an advice to Deku, which makes this moment all the more pleasant. This shows well chemistry of a teacher and student's relationship. I wouldn't follow him forever because that would be creepy, but I digress. The visual is handled thoroughly on the body language. You can sense the emotional thoughts from Night Eye with the way he keeps pursuing that he can't use his quirk like easy picking. Even when it's all done, the stance of his displays his strength to withstand the struggle. Aizawa has plenty of panels including that single large panel with Deku, but it hits the right note of his concern. It has a warm sense of comforting despite the bad mood early on. Towards the end, it's dreary to see what seems like a normal little girl's room filled with darkness. And I don't mean the lack of light. Everything feels cold. Eri can't overcome her fear in her room even if they act like they're parenting her well. It's because of Deku that she knows that feeling of cherishment, that it makes her teary. It's unknown on how long she has suffered, but that brief moment is all we need to know. It got me rooting for Deku to succeed this mission, though I am concerned with his motivational drive. It was said that he is similar to All Might in terms of madness. Is that foreshadowing that his thirst to rescue will ultimately cost something or someone's lives? The timing can't be coincidence. It's another build-up chapter that is certainly welcome to branch out the characters to gain motivation to proceed with the mission. Every hero has their own struggle and they want to overcome it. When a child sees a sign of brightness, it should not be kept as a once in a lifetime. It's up to Deku and others to save her from darkness. I'm giving this chapter an 8. Finally back from the break, but it's great to see that this chapter is still building up to make the action more significant, especially when you have all this amount of build up with these characters and their motivation. It gets you pumped up when the time comes. At the same time, it makes you worry. What are your thoughts on this chapter? What does Night Eye mean about Deku's madness, similar to being All Might? Now, I do think he means the way like he always going to push forward and not stopping. That sounds encouraging, yet at the same time very frightening, because his hand shows how badly damaged it is. Now, there is a possibility he may end up lose his sight, what he's supposed to be aiming for, and he probably has people getting hurt for his own doings. It's possible, and I hope that's not the case. We have to wait and see, and hopefully it doesn't cost someone's life, and you know who I'm referring to. And that will do it for the review. I hope you enjoyed this one. If you like this and want more of this, subscribe to my channel, and my world will be yours to stay. Until next time, take care.